Dear students, in your previous videos, you have learnt about elastic constants. One is the Young's modulus Y, another is the bulk modulus K, another is modulus of rigidity neta, and you have also learnt about Poisson's ratio sigma. You have also learnt about various relations that connect these elastic constants. Today we shall try to proceed to see the experimental determination of these elastic constants. So today what we mainly intend is that to find or to determine the modulus of rigidity neta using a torsional pendulum. In fact, this is an experiment that you are going to conduct in the lab, but today we will also read about its theory. Then in the lab, you are supposed to take the readings only, right? So we'll try to see and we'll try to derive the formula that will be needed to find the value of this modulus of rigidity neta. Now we begin as simply as this. Suppose we have a wire or a rod that is fixed at one end. The length of this rod is L, its radius is small r, and at another end a disc is connected to it. And the disc is so fixed to it that we are able to rotate this disc. So once we rotate the disc, this produces a twist in the wire. Suppose you have a point that you could initially locate at this point. Now after giving it a twist, you are able to locate it at another point, right? And this has turned through certain angle, and that angle is theta. Now you can compare to some extent this situation with the situation of a simple pendulum, wherein you have drawn the pendulum to another extreme end, and when you release this bob, it begins to move back to its mean position because a restoring force is developed. Restoring force. Similarly, in this situation, once we have produced a torque by rotating the disc that is connected at the other end of the rod, and once this disc is released, there is a restoring torque. That restoring torque tends to bring this rod back to its initial position, and it sets it rotating, right? So that restoring torque will be proportional to the angular displacement theta. And because we know that restoring forces always act opposite to the direction of increasing displacement, therefore we assign a negative sign to this theta. It will work, this restoring force will work against the direction of increasing theta, right? Because it will tend to bring back the body to its original position. Now, this torque can also be written as it is minus c theta, where c is a constant of proportionality. Now, we know that in case of rotational motion, this torque is written as I alpha, where all of you understand that I is moment of inertia and alpha is the angular acceleration. You know that in case of rotational motion, torque is analogous to force. And since force is mass into acceleration, so is torque equal to I into alpha. You have learned about these relations in detail in a previous video. You can go back to that to recapitulate. So torque is moment of inertia, which is a substitute for mass in case of rotational motion, and alpha is a substitute for the small a. This a is the linear acceleration and alpha is the angular acceleration. Now, how can you modify it further? We know since this rod or this wire is set in rotation in the form of regular motion or oscillation, and we know that the differential equation of simple harmonic motion is given by d square x by dt square plus omega square x is equal to 0. Now what is this d square x by dt square? This is the acceleration, linear acceleration. So you can say that this linear acceleration is minus omega square x. In analogy with this, you can write that this I, that is moment of inertia, and for this alpha, that is angular acceleration, you can write minus times omega square, but for x, this time you can write theta. Because in this case, there is no linear displacement, there is an angular displacement, and that will be written by theta. So for alpha, you have written in analogy with this that it will be equal to omega square theta. So that is further equal to minus c theta. So theta and theta will go, minus sign will also go, and you are left with omega square is c by I. So omega is under root c by I. Now you can choose to substitute the values of this c and I. In a previous short video, you have learned about the couple produced in a cylinder per unit twist. I hope all of you recall that. And even if you don't recall, you can go back to that video to recapitulate. This C we have found out to be, how much? Pi neta r 4 by 2L, where L is the length of the rod or the cylinder, r is the radius of the rod or the cylinder, neta is the modulus of rigidity, and pi by 2 is a constant. And what is this I? This is the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia of the disc that we have attached at the other end of the rod, and this will be half of mr square. All of you know that based on your higher secondary knowledge that the moment of inertia has different formula for different shapes of the object, right? So in case of a disc, it is given by half of mr square. So this will be the moment of inertia of this disc along an axis like this, right? About an axis that passes through this wire or the cylinder, right? So let us substitute that value here. So what do we get? Essentially? We get omega is equal to, so that will be, you give these values here. What is this? This is, for C you can write pi neta r 4 by 2L, then it will be half of, that is 2, then it will be mr square, right? Now you can also choose to write it as omega is equal to, say, omega is equal to 2 pi by t. Omega is also equal to 2 pi by t, and that will be given by, that will further be given by, you can write all these things again, pi neta 2r4. So it is under root pi neta 2r4 divided by this much, that is 2L mr square. 2L mr square, where you have to identify that this r is the radius of the rod, L is the length of the rod, m is the mass of the disc, r is the radius of the disc, and neta is the modulus of rigidity that we are essentially interested to find, right? Now this 2 pi by t is equal to pi neta r 4 by L mr square under root. Then you can choose to square it on both sides. It will be 4 pi square by t square, and this will be equal to pi neta r 4 by L mr square. Then it is quite easy to find, and this will be equal to, this neta will be equal to, then you can do it easily. It is 4 pi square L mr square divided by t square pi neta r 4. So this pi and pi will go. What we are left with essentially is neta is equal to 4 pi L m r square by t square r 4. So this is the final expression for modulus of rigidity using a torsional pendulum. And in a laboratory, you can easily find the mass of the disc, you can find the length of the cylinder or the wire, the radius using a vernier caliper and other things. So all these things can easily be determined with the help of different instruments in a lab, and finally you are able to calculate the modulus of rigidity using a torsional pendulum. That's all.